Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to Financial Lovemaking. This is where we talk about money, life, love, and everything in between. And I'm here with my buddy, my co-host, Ebony Magazine Entertainment Director, Miss S. Tia Brown. How you doing today, Tia?
I'm doing well. Nice to talk to you as usual.
Yes, and you were telling me today about Jay-Z, Beyonce, and this whole cheating thing during her performance. What's going on with that?
Well, Jay-Z and Beyonce are top of the food chain when it comes to celebrity, and they've actually been on the cover of Ebony Magazine over the last few weeks for the summer issue. So people are always watching them. But recently, during a concert in Cincinnati, Beyonce performed her song "Resentment," and during the song, she changed some of the lyrics a little bit, and people are thinking it's a little close to home. And the song is basically about a woman expressing her hurt feelings when a man that she's been with for a long time in a supposedly monogamous relationship strays outside of that relationship. She changed some lines to make it seem like it was kind of possibly, allegedly, could have kind of been talking about a situation close to home. So in one of the lines, she mentions, we've been riding for a certain amount of years. Now, in the original version of the song, she said 6 years. During the concert performance last week, she said 12 years. Her and Jay-Z have been allegedly together for 12 years. She also made another line extremely personal, saying, changing it from "your mistress couldn't do that for me" to "that whack B couldn't do it for you." So people are like, that's very personal. We know Beyonce's always been poised and collected. Even when, she's doing her thuggish stuff, it's usually on a certain level. And they're infamously, notoriously private people. So everyone's wondering what's up. And of course, the elephant in the room is, we know a few weeks ago there was this tape leaked from a hotel in New York City where Solange was attacking Jay-Z in an elevator. And there's been tons of speculation connecting that possibly, allegedly, to infidelity. What do you think?
Ooh, infidelity in a celebrity relationship. I mean, that is just so rare. It's just unheard of that a rich, famous, powerful celebrity would ever be unfaithful in their marriage. Oh my goodness.
Right.
That's a newsflash, right? But in all seriousness, I know, right? I think that there's a certain amount of intrigue and mystery around Beyonce and Jay-Z, and they've monetized this. They've become like kind of a two-person version of what the Beatles did in the 1960s. But in the 1960s, there were always these rumors about different Beatles. One of them may have died and come back to life, or some crazy stuff that they would talk about. I mean, literally, people were just so mesmerized by the Beatles that every little thing was interpreted to be some sort of signal to the public about something that was happening that people didn't know about. And it seems that you see the same thing with Beyonce and Jay-Z in terms of just their massive iconic status. And I think that's what makes it a financial lovemaking topic for me, is that they've really converted this this personal life, this relationship, this interesting and many times beautiful, at least very well very professional marriage, let's say that, and they've converted that into $1 billion empire. And people would rather live Beyonce and Jay-Z's life than their own, and that's just amazing that they've pulled that off. Now, why this song's lyrics were changed in the way they were, I don't know. But what are the odds? I mean, if you really had to put money on the idea that both of them have been faithful throughout this entire 12-year relationship, how much would you bet? How much money would you put on the line that Jay-Z, this man who's wanted by women all over the world, has been entirely faithful all the time? And again, but the thing is, we can't put that just on him, right?
Right.
We know that a lot of women cheat as well. So I honestly will say that I'm willing to bet you, and I want to find some data on this, but I'm willing to bet you that the majority of marriages, especially even those that appear to be stable on the outside, which they might be stable on the outside, the majority of these marriages have some type of infidelity.
Absolutely.
And the question is, what do you make of that? I mean, do you just say, well, all those people are whack, all those people are undisciplined, all those people are bad people, or do you say all those people are human? How do you respond?
Absolutely. I think to your first point, Jay-Z and Beyonce have done a magnificent job of mixing love and money, the truest essence of financial lovemaking, because they've created a brand that is, people are so invested in. And like you said, they live vicariously through this couple. From a financial standpoint, whether or not this was a publicity stunt, which some people do speculate, or just Beyonce using a little bit of artistic license to vent, about a hurtful situation, it works well to their advantage. It has people talking about the tour. It makes the couple more relatable. It has, it just has a factor that increases their visibility, right? Now, but from a personal perspective, we do know that sexual fidelity, I should say, is a challenge for long periods of time, like you said, for both genders. So, we all decide what we're willing to sacrifice to maintain a relationship. No relationship is perfect, and like you said, if there's a person who is famous, beautiful, and has power, which both of them have in some ways, there's going to be a lot of temptation. We know that relationships have weak points. My biggest thing is always your loyalty has to be with your mate. And loyalty and fidelity are not always the same thing, right? The loyalty is really how invested and dedicated am I to making sure that I correct any mistakes that I have, that I make sure that this person feels secure in my choice to honor and be with them. So ultimately, that's all we can say is that what you hope for a couple. At the end of the day, Beyonce Knowles Carter is a woman who wants to be loved by her husband. Sean Carter is a man who's married to a woman who hopefully he wants to love, and vice versa. So that's my wish for them.
Well, Chris Brown, remember Chris Brown said this past week that these hoes ain't loyal, right?
Oh, so you calling Beyonce a hoe?
Well, what's funny is that it's been
all women are hoes.
Right. No. We're not going to get into that. No. What I'm going to say though is that it's been interesting to me to see people dissect. That no, he's not talking about all women. He's talking about just the hoes. And I'm not going to say it's wrong. I'm just going to say that I think if you took the word hoe out and put the word nigger in there and let a white guy say that, and he says, well, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about the niggers. And you know who the niggers are. The niggers are people who behave a certain way. I think a lot of people will be offended by that. And I don't even know if there's a right answer to that. But my point, that really was, no, that really wasn't a side. That was really just me making a silly off-color joke. But what I was saying,
backtracking, ladies.
But let me no. Well, there you go. I know to backtrack when the women are coming at you with the hatchet. But what I will say is that one thing I remember somebody telling me once is that one of the most important things to understand when it comes to love is to learn how to love somebody from the waist up. And I thought about that, and as I got older and was less filled with things like jealousy and the kind of rage that you get when you feel that someone's sex organs belong to you, I realized that if I chose to get married or if I chose to love a woman, I have to love her from the waist up, which means that, sure, sexual fidelity was very important, but that can't be the defining factor as to whether or not I choose to stay with someone or to be with someone, right? Because I think that if your criteria says, I'm going to be with someone until and unless they share their sex organs with somebody else, then I just think that you're really creating a very shaky foundation from the beginning for your relationship. Because if you're just real, infidelity happens all the time, everywhere. AshleyMadison.com, is that the site or is it something else? The one for where couples go to if they want to cheat. Is it called Ashley Madison, or is that the one?
I don't know. I've never been to that site.
Yeah,
I think we should make
But let me make this point. Hold on.
Okay.
That site has what 20 million people or something, or some insane number of people that have registered for this site, and this site is for married people who want to cheat. So there is clearly something that's happening in millions of marriages that people don't want to talk about.
Okay, I'll end on this point. I don't think that fidelity is impossible. I think that being faithful continuously throughout a relationship is a challenge because there are many ups and downs, and a lot of times people date for years before they actually get married. So it requires constant work. And for me, I think that you should always set the bar high and understand that this is something that we're striving towards. But we also have to understand that sometimes people fall short. Every relationship is different, and people have to decide in that relationship what works for them. Second, I also want to make that there's a big distinction between cheating and being a cheater. And I think that people really have to decide what their standard is with that. People may cheat if they're in a low point, or if there's a challenge, or, you know, the relationship is going through something, very different reasons. However, being a cheater is a consistent disrespect to a relationship, right? And to me, anybody who's in a relationship like that really has to evaluate what is the value of being in that situation where a person isn't treating them with the respect that they deserve. Regarding Jay-Z and Beyonce, they have billions of dollars at this point to sit down, figure it out. They can walk the acres, they can cruise the seas, the oceans, you know, they can private jet it and figure out what works for them. So, yeah.
Well, they've just got 1 billion, but that's enough billions.
When you have one, you have many. That's how it happens. It just multiplies. But tell us your thoughts on this topic. Do you think Beyonce was really venting about a personal situation, and does that make you feel some kind of way about her brand and her personal life? Let us know. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.
Bye-bye.